Hey everybody, it's me, it's Thor. Hope you're doing great. Welcome back. If you're brand new, it's nice to meet you. I appreciate you stopping by, and I'd be grateful if you'd consider subscribing. Um, I want to talk about stuff today, and if we need it or if we want it, if we don't need it, if we're being ridiculous about it, and I guess, keep in mind, I'm using the royal we here. I'm talking about myself, but maybe you can relate to it. I think about all the pedals I've purchased in even the last few years versus the pedals I actually use. And those numbers are very different, you know. Uh, I try a lot of overdrive pedals. Overdrive is kind of the hardest one to get. And I've tried a lot. And even this year alone, I've bought and sold quite a few. And I still just go back to the same couple, Right at the moment, I have an MXR Timmy on my board. This is my second one. Uh, the one I had before this, I used for years. And then one day I just felt like I needed something different. And then I proceeded to buy and sell overdrive pedals like crazy. And I ended up back on a Timmy, and it rules. I love it. I know how to use it. I get it. Are there some things that I wish were different about it? Absolutely. Will the journey ever end? No. But the thing is, I know I have that. And so I can try some other things, and if it doesn't work out, I can just go back to the Timmy. Delay pedals, I've tried a bunch of delay pedals. Wacky, crazy ones, very, very boring ones. And when it comes down to it, I've had the same El Capistan on my pedal board for 5 years. And I've decided to stop the pursuit of delay pedals. I have tinkered with the idea of having a second delay pedal on because I like having a slap, and I also sometimes like a spacier sound, and it's just a lot easier to on a gig to be able to just turn a slap on and have a wacky one on, as opposed to bending down and switching settings in between songs, which I'm probably going to do anyway. But I've been using a Strymon Flint for years. I've tried other reverbs and other trems, and there are other ones that I actually think sound better, but this is reliable and it sounds great, and especially these days I'm using it more, especially the reverb as an effect. I have reverb on the amps I'm using right now. So just by using that sometimes, it's giving it a whole new life for me. But I thought about this because this morning I read about an overdrive pedal, that, and I had to stop myself from going down the rabbit hole of immediately ordering it and then potentially ultimately getting disappointed and just going back to the Timmy. And it just got me thinking about stuff in general. And this time of year, especially on YouTube, there's a ton of, best gear of the year, and a lot of temptation out there. And just to remind myself, what have I used in the last, even just year alone? I've used this guitar. I've used my Healy. I've used my Loudon. And I've used my Guild. That's about it. I currently do have a Jones for another type of guitar. We'll see what happens with that. It's something I used to have. I used to have a Casino that I was really, really crazy about, and I used it for years. That was my main guitar before the Tele came into my life. Absolutely loved that guitar, and it's currently in the hands of a good friend of mine. You know who you are. And so I'm thinking about getting something like that again. We'll see. It's the other thing with stuff and gear is that this stuff costs money, man. It's and as life goes on, would I rather spend my money on gear or going out to a really great dinner? I sure love a good dinner. So time will tell. This is my job, and I need to keep up with certain things, but do I really? I don't think I do. I have a fantasy that I get to a point in life where I could just have one electric guitar and one acoustic guitar. What a dream that would be, right? We'll see though. We'll see if that happens. I'm also of the credo is if I don't use it, then it gets sold. That's about it. So everything in this little studio room that I have, this little spare bedroom in my very modest apartment, everything is on everything's got a timeline. If it's not getting used, at some point it gets sold. So what are your thoughts on that? Do you hold on to gear you don't use, or do you stick it in a closet for a rainy day? Let me know what you think about that. I'm going to be doing some online lessons in the next couple of months. January, February, March a bit. April things get nuts. But if you're interested in some one-on-one lessons via either Zoom or Google Meet, something like that, there's a link in the description for my website. And let's see what else. I'm playing a gig at the Green Note in Camden here in London on the 8th of January, 2026. If you're around, come on out to the show. It'll be great to have you there. Just me and a guitar and my voice, just doing the thing. Also, just a quick thanks to everybody. This has been a really fun year here on YouTube, and I've gotten to meet a lot of cool people, and it's been great sharing stories and sharing experiences. So thank you for continuing to tune in. I'm very grateful for that. Since I've got some time at home in the next couple of months, I'll be annoying you with my presence pretty often. And yeah, I hope that's it. Hope you have a great day. Have a great meal. I'll talk to you soon.